Hi there, my fellow history nerds. I'm John Green, and welcome to the Train Wreck. Today, we're learning about the Aztecs! The Aztecs were in Mexico. Here. The Aztecs were known for their culture that is based on Mesoamerican civilizations of the past that they have enriched over time. Part of this was their language, Nahuatl.
That's wrong.
Nahuatl.
Originally written with pictographic script, it was a full writing system.
It was not?
It was not a full writing system, but instead served as a mnemonic to remind readers of texts they had learned orally. Artifacts of such are known to be destroyed by the Spanish to this day. Since we're in the subject of English, let's learn the alphabet. K is written C before A and O and Q, U elsewhere. J is written Y, S is written C before E and I, and Z elsewhere. W is written H, U, and TS is written TZ. It's that simple. Let's try and decipher this. How am I supposed to read this? Mr. Green, aren't the Aztecs bloodthirsty killers? Oh, yes, but actually no, me from the past. The Aztecs followed polytheistic religion in which different gods had different powers. The Aztecs called themselves the people of the sun. This is where they felt that in order for the sun to rise each day, the Aztecs needed to perform rituals and sacrifices to give the sun strength. This was mostly in tribute to their most important god, Huitzilopochtli, who is partially the sun god, among other things. More than 20,000 people were killed when the Great Temple was first dedicated in 1487. While they did kill many people, it was just in the belief that it was the only way for them to survive. Have you ever wondered what the Aztecs thought would happen after you died? Well, today's your lucky day. In the Aztec belief system, when people died, there were various levels of heaven and the underworld to spend your afterlife in, depending on the way you died. On the bare minimum, those who died in battle would go to the top level of heaven, while those who drowned would go to the underworld. In more detail of these certain beliefs, warriors turn into butterflies when they die so they can live the rest of eternity in peace since they spent their time in war. People who died of natural causes had the most unpleasant afterlife job. Their job was to serve the gloomy Lord of Death. Women who died in childbirth were to help the sun god push the sun each day from its position overhead in place where it disappeared for the night, so the sun could rest. People who died from lightning, drowning, and some diseases were believed to have been chosen to serve the rain and storm god. Even though each death was subjected to a different afterlife, one thing they all had in common was in the afterlife they supported their gods religiously. Moving on to social and gender structure. Woo. The class system of the Aztecs had slaves and commoners at the bottom, merchants and artisans were at the second to lowest class, and then the nobles and family of the king, and finally the king at the very top. Your class was determined by your economic situation and religious or political position. In Aztec culture, women were considered inferior to men because it was military society, and women were forbidden from being warriors. Lots of city-states called the Apollo were ruled by supreme leaders called the Tataloni, and judges and administrators were called the Chtulcotl. The Tataloni of the capital, Tenochtitlan, would act as the emperor, or the Huitataloni.
When the emperor dies, a new emperor will be needed. The council of four would pick the new Huitataloni. Usually, the new ruler would have to be a noble. He would also have to be over 30, educated, and experienced in the military. They were also usually a relative of the emperor before them.
Last but not least, economics and technology. Their technology wasn't very impressive as they only had canoes and some herbs for medicine, but their economics were very impressive. They had one of the largest markets in the Mexican area, and it was right next to their capital and everything. This is John Green, signing off. Goodbye and good night.
Hold on.
Could you stop holding? The Aztecs were known for their cultural, which is